And I walked into the home, and there was dishes piled up all over the sink. There was dirty dishes in the sink, soaking in some horrible water. And the woman and her son, it was a grown son, we were teaching the Bible study to. He was a dairy farmer, and he was out in the barn. And so I walked in the house, and Mama was there, and she had this soiled apron on. And there was a little grandchild there. And the little kid goes up, Grandma, and his nose is running down into his chin. She reaches with his apron and she wipes his face off. And we get to talking. She says, sit down at the table. She said, would you like some coffee? And I say, I'll take a cup. She reaches in the water, pulls out a cup, wipes it with her apron. I had a message for her. I said, you can't do that. You're not going to get away with cleaning the outside of the cup, lady. But we do this all the time. If we're human, we're talking about the human experience here. We do this all the time. I'm so careful about how you perceive me. How do I look? Is all my hair in the right place? What about my heart? What about my attitude? What about my thoughts? Oh, well, nobody sees that, brother. I don't have to worry about that. How terrible, you teachers of the law, you Pharisees, you hypocrites. You're like whitewashed tombs, which look fine on the outside, but are full of bones and decaying corpses on the inside. What you see, what God sees. I'm talking about holiness. But before I go too far, we have to understand that Jesus is probably the greatest teacher on true holiness. And he got right down to the issues that have to be dealt with when we're talking about holiness. In the same way, on the outside, you appear good to everybody, but inside you are full of hypocrisy and sin. 1 Thessalonians says it like this, and the very God of peace sanctify, which is where we get our word holy. So let me put that in there. The very God of peace holify you. That doesn't work. Make you holy, or completely. You need to be holy, completely sanctified. Not just the outside, but I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. We cannot just focus on the body when we're talking about holiness, because it's a matter of spirit and soul. Body, soul, spirit have to be cleansed and preserved blameless unto the coming of the Lord. So here's the way I see it, guys. This is the body, and it really consists of our five senses. We've got the sight, the hearing, the tasting, the feeling, the smelling. We call that the natural man. These are the things that you see. These are the things that I'm constantly aware of. This is the stuff that I concern myself with if I'm, as Jesus said, a hypocrite. But deeper inside, there's another part of Mel that's called the soul. And in here, we have things that deal with my memory. Things that I've experienced down through the years. And I put memory in there 3 times because I didn't want to forget. My imagination is there. My reasoning is there. My conscience is there. My affections. All of the things that... Do you ever do self-talk? Or am I the only person that does that? You know, your brain is talking to some part of you that you're not aware of. You know, and it's going on all the time, that self-talk. It's that self-talk that's really going on right here, where you're a little bit more real and you're a little bit more honest. But even deeper than the soul, we have another part of us, which has to deal with hope, faith, worship, reverence, and where we can pray, and that is the spirit of a man. And these are the things that have to be preserved blameless until the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. When we're talking about holiness, these are the 2 areas that Jesus concerned himself with before we got to the idea of the body. And here's why taking care of the body in and alone won't work. For what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh. There's only one thing the law can do with a guy like me. Lock him up. That's the only option that the law has for a guy like me. We have to control him. Is there any way we can put some sort of a bracelet on his ankle so we know where he's going? Is there any way that we can put some sort of a monitor on him? Is there any way that we can keep him out of there? How do we lock the door? How do we protect ourselves from him taking? No, I'm not a thief. I'm just like you. It's just like you. And the only thing that the law can do is lock you up. It can try its best to train you and tame you like an animal. And maybe I can get my dog to roll over. And maybe the pastor can get you to roll over. Or jump, or stand, or worship, or do something. But it's not coming from inside. We can train you. Teachers, this is where our schools are failing. They're teaching our kids stuff, but they're not teaching them to love learning. Stuff. Just pour more things into their head. The law, the Bible is so clear, it understands people. The law is weak through the flesh. Oh, the law can lock me up for life. The law can put me to death. But the law can't change me. It can't make me into anything other than an animal that's been trained. But look at this. I will put my law within them. I will write it on their hearts. Oh, so God says, I got a solution for this. I know that humanity has failed. I know humanity is in sin. I know humanity is degraded. And all of the good that they could do, it stinks. But I got a solution for that too. God says, I can fix that. I can get right down into that heart. And I can change that heart. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Teaching holiness here, but I want to talk to you about your heart. I want to talk to you about your skirt length. I want to talk to you about the pack of Marlboros. I don't want to talk to you about what's in the refrigerator. I want to talk to you about your heart. Keep your heart. What's in your heart? Well, the issues of your life are in your heart. That is you in the heart. It is your own face, it says in Proverbs 27. It is your own face that you see reflected in the water. It is your own self that you see in your heart. I get up in the morning, my wife is asleep, kids are off in their room. I don't even bother to turn on the light. I walk in the bathroom. I flip the switch and I look in the mirror. It's the ugliest I am all day long. My hair, what I've got of it, is a little bit's going that way, and some of it's heading toward the back. A little piece of it's saluting. It's like, turn on the shower, get in there and get to work. Because it's my own self that I see reflected in that mirror. It's like, that's the me that nobody should see. I don't even want my wife to see that. And we've been married for almost 20 years, honey. You're lucky I let you sleep. It's not because